Hey y'all, I'm Abby.
And I'm Keith.
Welcome to Gen X Files. This is a show where Gen X members send us their stories.
That's right. And if you're lucky enough, we will read those stories on the podcast.
And we'll be reacting to them live. We have not read through the stories before this, so you'll get to see our reaction right along with our audience.
That's right. And if you're so inclined, you can also send pictures or other things along with that to go along with your story, if that would enhance the storytelling experience.
All right, so at the end of the show, we will tell you how to send those stories in. But for right now, let's get started with Gen X Files. Welcome to Gen X Files. All right, Keith, what do we have inside the Trapper Keeper today?
We have some more stories to tell, so let's open it up and see what's in there. Love that sound.
That one never gets old.
There's nothing better than the sound of Velcro.
Remember back in the day at school when everybody carried these? And I'm sure the teachers got so annoyed when we'd all be Velcroing during class. There was just a collective rip as we opened our notebooks.
It wasn't just that. I mean, the Trapper Keepers were Velcro. Remember the wallets were Velcro?
And our shoes.
Shoes were Velcro.
That's true.
I mean, Velcro was the craze in the 80s.
I hadn't thought of that. I don't know when it was invented, but it definitely was popularized in the 80s.
And now I notice it's popular with those in the 80s because they can't tie their shoes anymore, so they wear Velcro.
I was like, where's he going with that? Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
But it's true.
That's what we have to look forward to.
I know. We're in the process of changing our personalized license plates. Right now they say 80s. 80. I think mine says 80s life and it says 80s guy. But we're going to change them. I was like, dude, it makes it seem like we're in our 80s. So we're going to put something to do with Gen X.
All right, let's see what's in the file.
Do it. Oh, you just wanted to do that sound again.
You know it. Okay.
All right, we're going to take turns reading the stories and reacting to them. What we do is we print them off from our email and stuff, and then we just sort of glance through to see the general idea, but we do not read through the stories. So we'll be reacting for the first time.
That's right. So our first story comes from Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Hey,
Thanks for sending us your story.
All right, so here's what Stacy has shared. So it says, "Hi there. I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel. Thank you.
Thank you.
You always put a smile on my face. I think you might like this story." Okay, let's see what you got. My mom took me to my very first concert on 8/8/88.
Oh, that's cool. We didn't do anything special for 8/8/88. I love that.
That's really cool.
And by the way, I did peek that we were having stories about concerts, first concerts. I didn't read the story, but I did, in honor of that, I did wear my Jackson Victory Tour shirt.
You playing to the crowd?
I am. It's not original, but this was my first concert. I had one just like it, and unfortunately I outgrew it and my mom got rid of it, so I don't have it anymore. So Keith, years ago, found an Etsy seller that was making exact copies of the old concert t-shirts and bought it for me, which I love. But I will say recently I was at the antique mall and I spotted an original one. It's a tank top version of this. And I'm not going to lie, I wanted it real bad, but it's $100.
It's like the lady on Napoleon Dynamite.
I want that.
I want that.
I literally texted Keith and I was like, I want that. And he was like, no. So, well, this one will have to do. All right, let's hear Stacy's concert story.
All right, so we're going way back to 8/8/88.
She's about to have an anniversary. It's almost 8/8.
Well, at that point, she had just turned 11 years old.
Okay.
Her mom drove her to Los Angeles in her Oldsmobile station wagon.
My mom drove an Oldsmobile station wagon also.
Did it have the wood trim?
It did. It had the wood grain, and then it had that way back seat that faced the back, like so we could wave at cars behind us. I don't think they make those anymore, but maybe it wasn't safe.
Probably not safe.
Okay.
My very first concert was Debbie Gibson at the Greek Theater in L.A.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I think we've been to the Greek Theater, but not for a concert.
Not for a concert, but we have been there.
We went there for
I think Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia, back in the day when it was brand new. Okay, we have to talk about Debbie Gibson. First of all, amazing first concert for you. That is so cool, Stacy. I'm borderline jealous of that, but I also liked the Jacksons. And I've seen Debbie in concert. And last year, we got to meet her on the 80s cruise, and she was so delightful. So that's cool.
So as the story continues, she says, as we were approaching the Greek, my mom was looking for a parking lot. She saw a young man standing by the road. She pulled up and asked him if she knew where we could park. He did not answer her. I immediately knew who it was, actor Brian Bloom.
Oh, cutie patootie.
All right, I don't know who Brian Bloom is. So.
The girls were into him.
Okay. I must have had a gap there. So.
Okay.
All right, so we had hottie Brian Bloom. This was Debbie's boyfriend.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't remember them dating, but that's cool.
Since he didn't answer, we drove away. I was so embarrassed. There was a limo parked nearby, and I think he was on his way back to the limo.
Oh, my goodness.
If I remember correctly, Brian has a brother named Scott Bloom.
Okay. I'll have to Google that after. I don't remember.
Scott's date for the evening was Alyssa Milano.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
So many, total 80s icons. That's cool.
I'm pretty sure they were all sitting in the limo waiting for the show to start.
Wow.
After the concert that night, Debbie celebrated her 18th birthday at a restaurant called Ed DeVevick's in Hollywood.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, must be a nice place.
It's probably a famous place that we just don't know it.
Well, it must be because it says, there were so many teen stars that attended that party. It was featured in all the magazines like Bop, Big Bopper, Teen Beat, and 16.
Wow, that's so cool. So you could see the after party. I love those teen magazines too. I was into those, especially the Teen Beat and all that.
I really wasn't into those.
You weren't. Were there any for boys? The girls read Tiger Beat and 17 and Young Miss.
I read Mad Magazine.
Mad Magazine. Okay, but that's a little different. It's not really pop culture, but.
No, but it was a magazine I read when I was a kid.
It's more like a comic, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so we digress. How does she end her story?
Right. It says, anyways, I have since met Debbie several times.
Oh.
She's very nice. We met Debbie.
We did.
Want to tell that story?
Well, finish her story, and then I'll tell mine.
Her music has brought me so much joy the last 37 years. She will always hold a special place in my heart. Thanks for letting me share.
That is awesome. Thank you, Stacy. Very cool. Yeah, so she has a really loyal fan base, and we met them last year on the 80s cruise. They call themselves the Deb Heads or the Diamond Deb Heads, and they were really fun. We had a great time getting to know them, and we ended up meeting Debbie not once but twice because we met her on the cruise. She was so delightful. See that album right there, The Electric Youth? She actually had the blue blazer from that album on her, and she put it on me and let me wear it for a minute and take pictures and stuff, and I was totally starstruck. Today we got an autograph from Debbie Gibson, the Electric Youth album, because she's celebrating her 35th anniversary of this album. But the most exciting part was earlier we got a picture with her, and she goes, oh, I have something for you, hang on. She had this exact jacket from the Electric Youth cover, put it on me, and we took a picture. It was so magical. And then remember I took that dance class?
That's right.
From
Oh, how could I forget?
They did a dance class. It's my favorite 80s cruise memory ever. They did a dance class with her and her dancers, and they taught us the dance for Electric Youth. And I think I held my own. I did okay. It was harder than I thought it would be, and it's been a long time since I've taken a dance class, but that was really fun. And then as a bonus, she ended up on our flight just a couple rows back from us, coming home from the 80s cruise. So then we got to talk to her again.
Yeah, she did an intro for our channel.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She did. We'll throw that in here for you.
Debbie Gibson here. Welcome to our 80s Life, live from the airplane.
Yeah, that was amazing. And you know what was really cool about Debbie is she actually came and talked to us. We didn't bother her on the airplane because we didn't want to bug her. I waved at her when we came in, and she came over and talked to us for probably 5 minutes. She was just so nice.
Yeah, very, very cool.
So to have her as your first concert, That's amazing. And I'm glad you got to meet her because she's really, really nice.
Yeah, much better than my first concert.
No, there's nothing wrong with Expose. In fact, I put the album out for you to. That's Keith's first concert. And they were great, I'm sure. Okay, what do we have next? It's my turn to read.
It's your turn.
Here come the glasses. I think this is another concert story. It's from Nadia. Hi, Nadia. Thanks for sending us your story. She says she's also a longtime subscriber. Very cool. And I want to say how much I enjoy your YouTube channel and podcast. They always bring back so many memories of my childhood, and I especially love watching Abby's Retro Rescue channel. Thank you. If you guys haven't visited my new channel, new-ish, I have another second channel that's just me. Sorry, Keith. And it's where I rescue random crap from estate sales from the 80s, and then I doctor it up. What am I in the process of doing right now, actually? I have something soaking up in the sink.
You're trying to save a caboodles.
Yeah. It's a dirty caboodles, but I think I've just about got it done, and I'm just soaking it with some Dawn. It was very, very dirty.
Yeah, but it's starting to look really good.
It is. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you enjoy those rescues. I do too. Oh, and she's browsed my Etsy shop. Oh my goodness, Nadia, thank you. She says, thank you for giving us an opportunity to share Gen X stories. You're welcome. Thank you for submitting a story. My story is about the very first concert I ever went to, an experience that has stayed with me all these years.
Another first concert.
What a coincidence. We didn't even tell you guys to send us concert memories. I love that. You and Stacy were on the same wavelength this week. I've always loved music. Me too. My dad was a DJ back in the 60s, and he passed that love of music down to me. Very cool. I bet he had all the good records too. So you can imagine how life-changing it felt when at 10 years old, I was invited to see Madonna's Who's That Girl tour at Anaheim Stadium. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So this was in Anaheim, California, July 18th, 1987. Like so many girls at the time, I was obsessed with Madonna. Me too.
Dudes were too.
Oh, yeah. I actually never got to see her in concert, but she was great. She is great. Loved her music, her dancing, her style, her everything. It all started one night when my mom was on the phone with family friends from Los Angeles. They called to ask if during our upcoming trip to California, I'd like to join their 16-year-old daughter, Lauren, and her cousins, who were 17 and 18, to see Madonna in concert. Oh my gosh, yes. When my mom turned to ask me, I could barely get the word yes out. I was in shock, I bet. I still remember getting ready. My pleated hot pink skirt, white lace-up ankle boots with a little heel, jelly bracelets, of course, stacked up my arms, dangly earrings, a pink tank top, and a belt, and of course, curled bangs. I felt so grown up, and I couldn't believe my mom let me go with the older girls. Very cool. My mom used to pay our neighbor girl who was older than me to drive me to concerts.
That's a lot cooler than your mom driving you.
Yeah, she didn't. Plus, my mom didn't want to go to like New Kids on the Block and stuff, so she paid Melissa to take me. Okay. Well, one time her brother came, and it was to see Erasure, and he wasn't familiar with Erasure or Andy Bell, and he looked at me and was like, what have you brought me to? Andy's an acquired taste, but he is my favorite. All right, back to the story. I was especially excited when I thought we'd be riding in Lauren's mother's Mercedes. But the oldest cousin laughed and said, nope. Since we're going into the city, we've got to take this old car instead. It turned out to be a beat-up convertible. Not glamorous, but still felt so cool to me. When we arrived, I was in awe at how massive the stadium was. I'll never forget walking up those endless stairs to the nosebleed seats, people watching all along the way. Everywhere girls were dressed just like Madonna. It was crazy, but so cool. As we climbed, level 42 was playing Something About You in the background. And to this day, whenever I hear that song, I'm instantly transported back to that night and the endless walk up those stairs. That's awesome. Once we settled in, I pulled out the expensive binoculars my dad had lent me, determined not to miss a moment. Then, as Chris Finch, her young boy dancer, who I felt took my job, LOL, ran on stage, the crowd roared to the opening notes of Open Your Heart. The curtain rose, and there was Madonna at the top of the staircase, dancing in her famous black leotard from the video with her chair. It was just amazing. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Back then, cameras weren't allowed, so I couldn't take any pictures at the show. And I never thought to snap a photo of us before we left. I regret that I don't have photos from that night, but I do have a picture of me later on, fast asleep in my official Madonna's Who's That Girl World t-shirt. Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. We were just talking about that the other day about we have gaps because we didn't have cameras readily available.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you couldn't bring them to the shows.
Right.
So,
we have one photo of my friend Laura and I in front of the concert. It must have been after the concert because we had on our matching T-shirts in front of my mom's station wagon in wearing the T-shirts from the Michael Jackson. That's all I have.
we just have the memories, and that's why it's so important to share these stories.
That's true.
It's just memories now.
We have to share them or they'll be lost. They'll be lost forever.
Now, in some ways, I'm glad there were no photos back then. There's no
or
evidence.
internet.
Yes, yes.
That's the other reason these stories are important. There was no internet, and so the only way we can share our shenanigans. And there's probably a statute of limitations right now, so by now we can share our 40-year-old shenanigans without getting in trouble.
Without going to jail.
Not that we did anything that would warrant that.
Or did we?
I didn't. Miss Goody Two-Shoes over here. And I've already shared my crazy night of TPing the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That was about as wild as I got.
You were wild and crazy.
Yeah. All right. So she said she didn't have any photos, but she has a picture of her sleeping in her official Who's That Girl World Tour t-shirt. It was huge on me, and I wore it to bed most of the time because it was my favorite. I wish I still had it today. Oh, dang. It was a rare shirt, and I've searched for one on eBay, but they're so hard to find. Yes, that is true. So what we ended up doing with this one is just buying a reproduced one that somebody on Etsy was making. But, and like I mentioned earlier, you can get the old ones, but dang, they're expensive.
Yeah, you got to be ready to pay.
Yeah. That concert was the perfect mix of being a wide-eyed kid and feeling like I stepped into a grown-up world for a night. It was my first taste of the magic of live music, and it remains one of the best memories of my childhood. I love that. Thank you again for the chance to share this. I hope it brings back fun memories for your listeners about their first concert experiences too. Nadia. Very nice, Nadia. That was such a sweet, heartwarming story. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's nothing like a first concert.
It's true.
You never forget it.
You never do. Yeah. I remember my dad saying, "Don't look at the lasers. They'll burn your retina." They had all these laser lights.
You'll go blind.
And mine was at Texas Stadium, which no longer exists. So, yeah, for sure, just a memory. What do we have next, Keith?
All right, the next one is from a longtime viewer named Charles.
Charles? Okay, you may know our friend Charles from such things as sending me a crap ton of Swatch watches, including this one, in an amazing video that we did where I opened a box that he referred to as the Swatch Avalanche. Y'all, he sent me tons of vintage swatches. That was so nice. Charles is the nicest guy. Thank you, Charles.
There's a swatch for every occasion.
Yeah, I do. I have one for every occasion now, yeah. Okay, so Charles has sent us several stories. We picked one because I think it's about swatches, and that seemed like an appropriate introduction for you guys to our friend Charles, who we've never met. He's just, he messages us from time to time. All right. So, Charles, what you got?
So Charles says, I have a sweet Swatch story for you.
Okay.
The year is 1988. That's funny because the
Oh.
first story we read was 1988.
It was 8888.
Hey.
Very cool. That was a good year.
He said, I had a friend. Well, I still know her. She is dear to me. Her name is Donna. Isn't that a pretty name?
Hi, Donna.
Okay, so the thing is, we were hanging out at her house. Her parents were out of town. Ooh,
Okay.
Okay. We, being teenagers, began to smooch away.
Oh, no.
Where is this
I
headed?
thought his mind was in the gutter, but that was actually the way the story was really going.
Hey, I'm a dude, and if you're telling a story and you're leading in by the parents are out of town,
Uh-oh.
there's probably going to be some smooching. I held Donna's hand and told her how much I loved her Swatch.
How romantic.
You didn't love her, but you loved her swatch. She smiled and proceeded to give me her swatch. Wow.
She gave it to you? Oh, my goodness.
Charles must be the heck of a kisser.
Wait, do I have Donna's swatch now?
He said, no. He says, I still own it.
Oh, okay.
It still ticks away.
Okay.
I treasure this gift for my friend.
Oh, good. Yeah, you don't want to re-gift something. That wouldn't be very nice.
But then Charles sent a follow-up.
There's a follow-up story.
Follow-up.
Oh, okay. The plot thickens.
Okay. He says, okay, so back in 1998, so 10 years later, there was a reunion of sorts, and I had the pleasure of meeting Donna again after so many years. I brought that swatch to give to her. As I mentioned, she politely refused, and she wanted me to keep it. Then I showed it to her. Donna absolutely squealed with delight. She was so touched that I still had it in my possession. She gave me a smooch and appreciation. Man, Charles is still getting smooches.
An appreciation smooch.
Man.
Okay.
All right. I can still feel that smooch on my cheek to this day. Donna is married. I would ask her to marry me if she were not.
Oh, my goodness. He has a little crush.
Missed opportunity there, Charles.
Oh, shoot.
You should have struck while the iron was hot.
That's true. Well, the swatch was hot.
Well, the swatch was hot.
Oh, my goodness. That was a juicy one.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. You're outing your crush. All right, we're switching topics now. And by the way, we were excited to receive stories from ladies this time but our prior show was all guys.
All guys.
And I was wondering if any girls were going to ever send us stories, and they did.
And we got 3 from girls and 1 from Charles.
Yeah, and this one is from Danny. And now Keith printed it out in a really small font, so I'm going to do my best to read Danny's story.
Is the challenge accepted?
Yeah. And we've actually met Danny on the 80s cruise. So hi, Danny. Thank you for being a longtime viewer and also introducing yourself on the 80s cruise. That's awesome. So she says, I have been a fan of your content for a few years and was so happy to meet you guys on the last 80s cruise. Congrats on all the new rebranding. Thank you. I cannot wait to see all the Gen X content you will be sharing. Thank you. Me too. I can't wait to see the stories that everybody sends us. That's what's been fun, is hearing other people's stories. She said she's not sure if her story is podcast worthy, but it's Gen X relatable.
I bet it's podcast worthy.
I'm sure it's fine. When I was around 5 or 6, I loved riding with my older brother on his bike. Remember back when one person would actually sit and ride on the bike while the other person stood on the back? On the tire hinges? Yes, I do. That's very dangerous.
I think they figured out kids were dangerously riding these bicycles and just standing on the little bolts.
Right.
So they added there were pegs that you could stand on.
Yeah, something you could stand on.
But it sounds like this was before the day of pegs.
Yes, it must have been. All right. So she says, anyways, my mom had told me countless times, do not do this.
Probably good advice.
But I wanted to ride along with my big brother. Well, one day I was standing up on the back of my brother's bike exactly like I was told not to do. Something was kicked up from the back tire and sliced my leg.
Ouch.
Ooh. We are not talking about a small nick. This was a major cut, and even at 5 or 6, I knew it. Okay, that is terrifying. And also, I hope they weren't far from home.
I'm sure we're going to find out.
She says, I made my way back to the house somehow. The entire time, I was more concerned about telling my mom how I cut my leg than I was about the size of the gash. Oh, no. You had to fess up.
Yeah, there's no hiding the gash.
Right. As I walked in the house, I heard my mom on the phone. She was talking to family, and it was long distance, the expensive kind.
Remember long distance?
Yes. You can't interrupt your mom when she's on a long distance call.
No, that's like multiple probably dollars a minute.
Yeah. No, I had a boyfriend that lived in Waxahachie, which was just like, maybe 45 minutes from where I lived. And it was far enough that it was long distance. And believe me, I got in big trouble when my dad saw the phone bill.
It's kind of like Jack and Audrey from European Vacation.
I did. I called them from Europe too.
Oh.
I pulled that exact stunt.
Who the hell called Chicago? Audrey!
Back to the story. So mom's on a long distance phone call. I could see the annoyed look on her face as I walked up to her. This was her phone time, and she was probably thinking I was going to bother her over something extremely unimportant, like always. So I waited. Gen X kids had this unspoken rule that we didn't interrupt or bother our parents for anything. That's true. We were so self-sufficient. I mean, we would purposely not bother our parents, just like we were really good at problem solving.
Yeah, we were very independent.
We were very fiercely independent. Suffice it to say, her leg is bleeding. Mom's on a long-distance phone call, but she doesn't want to bother her. Yep. All right. So I waited. I waited 20 minutes. Oh, gosh. Till she got off the phone to tell her what happened and showing her my leg. She absolutely freaked out. Asked me why I didn't tell her sooner. And in a panicked frenzy, full of equal parts concern and anger, she drove me to the hospital. Oh, no.
Oh, this must require stitches.
Oh, no. Turns out I had an extremely deep cut and needed about 10 stitches.
Oh.
Yikes. Needless to say, I learned the hard way, as our generation did, that maybe our parents were right. Sometimes. To this day, I still have a significant scar on my leg. Oh, my goodness. And you have a story. A story behind. Every scar has a story.
That is a badge of honor.
It is. She said, I like to call it my Gen X card. Oh, that's so good. I love that. I think we all have some of those. Keep up the good work, you guys, and thanks for sharing not only our stories, but yours as well. From Danny in Tampa, Florida. Danny, that was a fun, I want to say fun story, but it's funny now. But back then, yikes.
Painfully fun.
Definitely podcast worthy. Thank you for sending your story. I love it. So,
anything around broken bones or gashes,
yeah,
we'll always make the podcast.
We're here for it. So Keith, I have to ask, did you ever get stitches back in the day?
Yeah.
Because I want to say I've never had it. I better knock on some serious wood. I've never had any.
I've gotten stitches once.
What? Oh, I think I know this one. Was it at your grandma's house?
It was at my grandma's house. I was out in the ocean.
She had a beach house.
Without any shoes on, and I must have stepped on some glass or something, and I got a big gash between my big toe and the next toe.
Oh my gosh, right in the middle.
Right in the middle. And so when
that hurts just thinking about it.
So our mistake was telling my grandma.
Yes, because what did Nanny do?
Nanny poured alcohol on it.
Oh my gosh.
And
that is the worst thing ever.
And I'm guarantee you, probably from miles away, they could hear me screaming.
How old were you?
I was probably 10 or 11 maybe. And so then, after going through that pain, then I had to go to the doctor. And then I just remember him jabbing some shot, trying to numb up that area.
Oh my gosh.
I remember screaming again.
Yikes.
The stitches were the least painful part. It was the shot and the alcohol. Yeah.
I mean, she did probably keep you from getting an infection, but that is like the worst thing to do in an open wound. I can't imagine.
Have you heard of hydrogen peroxide?
Well, maybe she didn't have any. Like, hopefully she knew better. She was old school. She was just like, get the alcohol.
I feel like she was teaching me a lesson.
I mean, what? To wear shoes on the beach?
To be more responsible. Because she probably told me to wear shoes.
Yeah, she might have told you to wear shoes.
So she's like, I'll show him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because often there is broken glass. I mean, it washes up. It's a bay, so you get more things washing up probably.
Yeah. So that was my, as of today, first and last experience with stitches, and I hope I never have to get stitches again.
So I never did have to get stitches, but I worked my senior year in high school, so in like 1991, I worked in a doctor's office, a pediatrician, because they had this like internship program for what did you think you wanted to be when you grew up? And I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. And
which is hilarious now.
Yeah, I know, right? I wouldn't be good at that at all. But at the time, that's what I thought. Well, actually, that semester taught me that I didn't want to be a pediatrician. It was a valid experience. But at the time, when they brought kids in that had an emergency like that needed stitches, I was the person that would like hold their hand and talk to them and like tell them jokes and stuff while they were getting their stitches, because like the moms sometimes would be like, the one I remember, the mom was about to pass out and she was just like, she couldn't handle it. She didn't want to be in the room. And so they were like, go get Abby and tell her to entertain this kid while he's getting his stitches. And it worked. If they had shots or anything, that was my job. I was good at that, but not good at like the actual medical stuff. So hence, I am not a doctor, but I am a receptionist at a doctor's office. So there you go. Well, thank you everyone for those entertaining stories. I really enjoyed all of them. They're so different and so fun. And why don't you tell everybody how they can send us their Gen X stories?
That's right. So if you have some awesome stories that you would like us to read, send them to us. We have a couple ways you can do that. The first is through email. That is rgenxlife@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website, www.rgenxlife.com, and there's a tab there that says Share Your Stories.
Send your stories our way. We look forward to hearing from you guys. And thanks for watching Gen X Files.
Catch you on the next episode.
Bye, y'all.